And also the line weights. You want to play with your line weights a little bit, especially where you've got teeth matching up. If you keep them object lines, you're not going to see anything. So use an artistic license with your areas that are very tight. Okay. The dimensioning portion on the gear is also a pretty set standard. It's listed at the end of your little document on the gear. And again, all those are pretty much demoed up in the example I put on the deal. That part of on my example that I've got posted up on the side of the board has some of the old standards on it. Okay, so make sure you're sticking with the new ones. And primarily the only thing that's an old standard is the way keyways and key seats were dimensioned. I've updated some of them, but not all of them. So you're going to want to look at that. But this basically is all the dimensions you need on here. The table that you produce, that's also listed, that has the cutting data, that will have several of the dimensions on it that you do not have to put on the drawing because they come from blanks that you're putting out on a drawing. But first off, let me just open it up. Are there any questions on the gear and how you portray it? And I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of pull it up and look at it if you need to.
When I was doing the gear face and rim radius.
Okay.
So I went from the bottom and I did my, face and went back, did the radius.
So you're talking this section down here.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So it looks like I got that right. My question, okay, so you got those two. For patching, is that the same as the web size? I didn't know how thick to make, that's the one I didn't get. I mean, I got this line and I got my little round there, but I didn't know how thick to actually make the metal.
Okay, it's in right above your dimensioning in your, look at a couple of those lines right above where it tells you how to dimension. And I'm looking at this line right here.
Okay.
So,
Thickness of gear. Okay, well, okay, that was my question, because I made that in between, so that's not this one then. That's not this thickness. See, I made this thickness, and that didn't look the same. So I made this thickness the 0.25 right here, but that looked like it was half that. Okay.
it's this one too. Well, let's see here.
It looks so much thinner.
Because you're coming off, what's driving that?
Because the way we're looking at it?
Yeah, no,
just 'cause
it's
it's a
because
half.
it's been filleted. It's the same thickness.
Oh, it is? Okay. Really?
It's given by this dimension right here,
Well,
this radius 0.7618.
You have to change the screen.
yeah.
Oh. And we found that out in our original.
Yeah, no, I got those two radiuses.
Gear rim radius.
Mhm.
Okay, that is 0.7618.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay.
I got both of those. It's this one. I mean, I didn't know the thickness. I mean, I got these. I didn't know the thickness of this. So I think this is the 0.25.
Oh, that's how you're going to get it though.
Okay.
Because this is your gear rim radius right here, 0.7618.
Right.
Okay, here's your pitch diameter. So there's the dedendum, and there's the addendum. And whatever's
Oh.
left in there.
So you, oh,
Yeah,
okay, so
get your-
you do the one with your pitch, okay, that's off the pitch rate, okay,
Yeah.
that answers the question.
Yeah, so find your pitch diameter, which you can do from mirroring from the other side.
Yeah,
Then you can offset for your addendum and dedendum. And
Okay.
then, once you get that, then you use that to come down and locate that center, and then that gives you this one.
okay,
Yeah.
that answers that, okay.
And then this diameter, or distance
That's
for the
0.25.
webs is a quarter, right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Now, when you project that back for the full sections, you want to make sure you're projecting correctly. Now, when you're projecting for the bottom part, since we're using Simplify over in this realm, you don't really have to project. But on the section portion over here, notice that right here on the center point, that my hatching jumps in a little bit to right here. Okay. Where that comes from is up here in the top, that section's right here in the center, right? Okay, so what you'll want to do is take your rim radius here and extend that in to where it hits the center line. That's where it is. And then you will project that. And you can get the exact same answer because you remember with fillets, what do we do with fillets when we show them in a confusing view? We project it as if it's straight and the fillet wasn't there at all. And you can kind of get the same answer by taking this out, and that will project on pretty much the same line right there. And then you bring that over, and that tells you what the section on the top half of the gear, because it is a full section, or a half section, I guess I should say. Okay, so I'll take that line where it hits this center, and then just pull that back, and that gives you this radius of this inside piece. Anything else on this? Are we good on the teeth that we did as examples last week? Yeah. Sean, you good on this thing?
Yep.
Started it yet? Yeah. Think you'll finish this today?
Yeah, there's no lecture. No more new stuff.
Okay, we gotta get set up for the rest of the week. So here's how things are really gonna work. Wednesday, us and welding are switching roles. And Sean, I think you might wanna come with me. I'm doing a lecture for the welders on development of a 60-degree double Y, the rollout of it. They're getting ready to build one, so I'm gonna go show them how to do it, how to do the layout. You folks are gonna go with Cody, who is the welding assistant, and he's gonna run you through the welding lab, show you all the different welds and stuff, and I wanna talk on it a little bit tomorrow before you go over there. And then I gotta get with Cody a little bit more today. I'm hoping that he will let you burn a little rod or something also. If you've never, has anybody not welded in here before? I'm not sure what we'll be able to do on that as far as safety and stuff, but the thing is, you will be in the welding lab on Wednesday. So you need to wear appropriate clothing, no sandals.
If
Wear,
everyone wears
Long
closed-toed
sleeves.
shoes, I think they would let you weld.
what's that?
If everyone wears.
Leather shoes, like leather shoes?
No, just closed-toed
Okay.
shoes. If you wear closed-toed shoes and
Long sleeves?
if you have pants on, because you'd put welding leathers over your shirt.
Oh.
No, keep the sparks off you from burning holes in your clothes.
I wanna weld.
I think they would let you guys.
We're gonna try and get that set up to where you can see a little bit of how that works over there. He'll walk you through the lab, show you some of their machinery, and how they use it to fabricate parts and things that go with that. I think it'd be a good exercise for it. Now, with that said, I need to kind of prep you for it so you don't walk over there cold. So tomorrow, I'm going to cover pretty much all of chapter 25. And I'll put some questions for review up here. I don't want you to turn them in again, but if you can answer all those questions, you'll be pretty prepped for Cody tomorrow. And then Sean, you're welcome to go with them and help them out, or you're welcome to come over and catch my stuff too, whatever you want to do. Okay. So we'll do that on Wednesday. Friday, did I hear you're gone? You're heading, you got your little orientation?
Oh, on Monday and Tuesday.
You're on Monday and Tuesday? Okay, so you're gone Friday?
For sure, yep.
Okay. Friday and Monday of this upcoming week, I'm gone. I'm thinking one of those, and maybe you folks can direct me, would be a day you don't have to show up.
Friday.
Friday. Friday's always worse than Monday.
Friday, is that the day? Well, why don't you folks talk it over and let me know. Now, the other day, when you come in, you're going to be prepping for the next course. I've got some older material. It's really, we don't have any documentation on how to customize AutoCAD per se. That documentation seems to have kind of left the textbooks. I do have an older textbook that shows you how to customize your screen, and you're in essence need to work through a bunch of that before we start talking about it. And when I talk about customizing the screen, you'll go to work at a lot of places that run AutoCAD and you won't even recognize it because they've customized it exactly for their workspace. Okay, you've already seen the different workspaces where we've got 3D, we've got 2D, these types of things. This thing's totally customizable. You can change pretty much anything in here. Okay, we can change our line types, we can change our hatching, we can change how our aliases work, we can change our ribbons, we can change everything to make us more efficient. And that's going to be the whole purpose of the next 2 weeks, starting next week, that we're going to get in, is how to make you more efficient. Yes?
And you'll show us the back door to go take hatching off the internet and put
Yep.
different hatches in our.
We're gonna do all of that.
one.
You
Okay.
bet.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And also, we're going to talk about getting rid, because I mean, just look at the home ribbon up here. How many of these buttons do you really use? There's probably what,
The draw one.
150 commands up there?
I probably only use like 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
I use the keyboard for most of this.
Yeah.
I don't use the measure one.
Right, and I know some of us were different. Some of us are mouse people, and we like those. Some of us are keyboard people. But it doesn't really matter. We want to customize it for ourselves. Myself, as I look up here, I think maybe the only one, period, that I use is maybe layer properties. That might be the only icon up there I use. Everything else is off the keyboard. So why do I have this up here, would be the question, for me. Now, some of you might say, oh, I want everything up there, and that's fine. We're all different, but we need to know how to make it and make us faster, right? And that's what's going to be our next area of study. You're also going to hear about Shelley and AutoList programming, although we don't have time to go into AutoList programming. In essence, it's a lost art, but you need to know how to use it, okay? And we'll show you how to do that. So in essence, that's probably going to sound like be Monday. Okay. And I'll make sure that stuff's available before I leave on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, that's kind of what I had. I'll put the stuff on chapter 25 today. Please take some time to get through with it. Your gear won't be due until, let's see, tomorrow's a short day too, right? We'll kind of play it by ear, but figure tentatively that the gear is due end of day tomorrow. Okay. And that'll give you a good 4 or 5 hours to work on it today, and then another hour or 2 tomorrow. If you get it all done and you're ready to go, then come see me and we'll talk about what you can do, because I certainly don't want you sitting at your desk just twiddling your thumbs. All right, that's all I've got for this morning. If there's no other questions on the gear drawing?
Okay.
Okay. How many people have never done any IT work at all?
What is IT?
Oh, just hooking stuff up and
Oh, that's not true.
making stuff work, like printers, and
Listen.
Did you say who hasn't or who
who
hasn't?
has not? Missy?
I haven't.
Sean says it's a little bit?
I've done a little.
Okay. Well, I think, I don't know if you heard, but me and Gabe were talking about getting that table up and going. And We don't have the data connection to it, but we've got everything else in the data connection. I'm meeting with the guy later today. But, let's get those of you that have never done this, why don't you get involved? Okay, so we can move some computers around, do some stuff like that and get it set up, and you can see how it works. It's not rocket science, it's mostly just figuring out where you're plugging wires one place together. But certainly, at some point in time, you need to learn how to do that. Gate, let's say maybe 10 o'clock, let you have a little bit of time to work, and then maybe we'll let you lead it.
Oh. Well.
There you
I don't know
go.
if it's not class, we'll jerk that sucker out of there and see if we can't get it up and going. All right, that's all I've got, thank you.